I was away on a 2-week business trip and video called my husband. When he shifted on the bed, I saw my sister's phone beside him. The next morning, I took the first flight home and gathered both families for a surprise they never expected. My heart was beating fast as I stood in the middle of my parents' sitting room. Both families were there. My mother and father sat on one side. My husband's parents sat on the other side. My younger brothers and cousins were standing by the door, whispering. The air felt heavy, like rain was about to fall inside the house. On the sofa, side by side, sat my husband, Daniel, and my younger sister, Emily. They could not look at me. Their eyes stayed on the floor. Everyone was waiting for me to speak. I took a deep breath and held up my phone. "Thank you all for coming," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "I know you are wondering why I called this family meeting. I just came back from a 2-week business trip. And I saw something on a video call that all of you need to see." The room went quiet. You could hear only the ticking of the wall clock. Tick, tick, tick. I connected my phone to the big TV on the wall. The screen lit up. My hands were shaking a little, but I did not stop. I opened the video from last night's call. I pressed pause just before the most important part. Daniel finally spoke. "Babe, is this really necessary?" he asked in a soft voice. "Yes," I answered. "Today, truth is necessary." I turned to Emily. "And you, Emily, I want you to watch this with everyone. I want no secrets anymore." Her face turned pale. She opened her mouth like she wanted to say something, but no words came out. My mother shifted in her seat, confused. My father frowned. My mother-in-law held her handbag tighter. I pressed play. The video started with my face on the phone screen. I was in my hotel room, tired but smiling. You could hear my voice say, "Hi, honey. How are you? I miss you." Then the camera turned, showing Daniel lying on our bed at home. He smiled at the screen and said, "I miss you too. How was your trip?" Everyone in the room watched closely. They thought it was just a normal call. Then, in the video, Daniel moved a little on the bed. As he shifted, the camera shook, and for a second, the phone showed the other side of the bed. There, clear on the white bedsheet, was a pink phone with a cracked corner and a small butterfly sticker at the back. Every person in that room knew that phone. It was my sister Emily's phone. I could hear small gasps in the room now. My mother turned to look at Emily. My father sat up straight. My husband's father narrowed his eyes. My heart hurt, but I kept standing. In the video, my voice said, "Wait. That phone. Is that not Emily's phone?" Right at that moment, before the video showed what Daniel answered, I paused it again. The TV froze with the image of the butterfly phone glowing on the bed. I turned slowly and looked at each face in the room, one by one. "I was away on a 2-week business trip," I said. "Last night I called my husband just to say goodnight. When he moved on the bed, I saw my sister's phone beside him. The next morning, I took the first flight home. And I gathered both families for a surprise they never expected." My mother whispered, "Emily, is this true?" Emily's lips trembled. She grabbed the edge of the sofa. Daniel wiped sweat from his forehead. I lifted my hand and pointed at the remote. "Now," I said quietly, "let us all watch what happened next." I pressed play again. The moment before Daniel's answer filled the whole screen. His mouth opened to speak. Everyone leaned forward, waiting. And just as his first word came out of the TV, there was a loud knock on the front door. The loud knock froze everyone. It was so sudden that even the clock on the wall seemed to stop ticking. My father stood up first. "Who is knocking like that?" he asked. Before anyone could move, the door swung open. My neighbor, Mrs. Carter, stepped inside. She was breathing fast, holding her phone like she had run all the way to the house. Everyone turned to stare at her. "I am so sorry for coming in like this," she said, her voice shaking. "But I need to speak with your daughter. It is important." My mother blinked. "Important how?" Mrs. Carter lifted her phone. "I think she needs to see something." My heart dropped. I did not know if I was ready for more surprises, but I nodded. "Show me." She walked over and handed me the phone. A video was already open. I pressed play, and what I saw made my stomach twist. The video showed our compound at night. It looked like the view from her window. The camera was zoomed in on my own bedroom window. The curtains were slightly open. Light was leaking through. Inside the room, two people moved around. I leaned closer. Even before the faces became clear, I knew the shapes. Daniel, Emily. They were laughing about something. They were sitting too close on the bed. Too close for comfort. Too close for siblings-in-law. My chest tightened. Gasps filled the room again as everyone watched. My mother covered her mouth. My father clenched his jaw. Emily looked like she wanted to disappear. Daniel rubbed his forehead and whispered, "This is getting out of hand." I paused the video and gave the phone back to Mrs. Carter. "Thank you," I said. "You came at the right time." She nodded sadly and left the house. Now the room was silent again, but the silence was thicker. Heavy, sad, painful. Daniel suddenly stood up. "Look, everyone, this is not what you think. Emily came over only because she needed help with something. That night was innocent. Nothing happened." Emily shook her head quickly. Yes, nothing happened. It was just. She could not finish her sentence. My father-in-law glared at them both. "Then explain why you were in the bedroom at that hour," he said. My father added, "Explain why her phone was on the bed beside you." Emily's eyes filled with tears. Daniel opened his mouth and closed it again. They had no answer. I stepped forward. "Let me continue from the video call," I said. I pressed play again on the TV. Everyone turned their attention back to the screen. In the video, I asked, "Why is Emily's phone on the bed?" Daniel replied, "Oh, she came earlier today and forgot it here." I could hear my own voice say, "But the light on the phone just blinked." "How can it blink if she forgot it earlier?" Daniel stammered something, but the video ended. When the TV went dark, the whole room felt even darker. My mother finally turned to Emily. "Emily, look into my eyes. What is going on between you and your sister's husband?" Emily started crying. "Mom, I cannot." Daniel touched her arm quickly, as if to stop her from speaking. That small action made every elder in the room gasp. He pulled his hand back immediately, but the damage was done. My father slammed his hand on the table. "Enough is enough. We need the truth now." Emily cried harder. "Please, Her voice cracked. She looked at me with fear in her eyes. "I am sorry, sis," she whispered. "I did something terrible." Everyone leaned in, waiting for her next words. My heart pounded like a drum. My hands felt cold. Just then, before she could confess fully, my husband's phone began to ring loudly on the table. And the name flashing on the screen made every single person gasp again. The name flashing on Daniel's phone made the whole room jump. It was Emily. Everyone turned to look at her. She was sitting right there on the sofa, crying, her hands shaking. But her name was shining boldly on the phone screen as if she was calling from somewhere else. My mother whispered, "How can she be calling when she is here?" Emily froze. Daniel froze. Even the elders looked confused. My father stood up slowly. "Pick the call," he said. Daniel swallowed hard. His hand shook as he reached for the phone. He pressed the green button and placed it on loudspeaker. A woman's voice came through. Clear, soft, and painfully familiar. "Daniel, I am downstairs. Please come outside. I cannot stay here long." The whole room gasped again. My mother grabbed the arm of the chair. My father-in-law dropped his glasses. And I suddenly felt like the floor was moving. It was Emily's voice. The same voice. The same tone. My sister stood from the sofa immediately. "That is not me. I am here. I am not downstairs," she cried. But the voice on the phone kept talking. "Daniel, please. I need to talk to you. I left my phone in your room again. Come before someone sees me." My father practically shouted, "Who is that?" Daniel ended the call fast. His face turned red, then pale, then red again. He looked like a thief who had been caught inside a store with the door locked from the outside. My father pointed at him. "Go outside. Let us see who is calling you." Daniel shook his head, terrified. No, it is not what you think." But my father-in-law grabbed his arm. "Move." The whole family stood up at once. Even the children followed quietly, sensing something serious. We all walked to the front door together. Daniel walked slowly like someone walking to a police station with handcuffs waiting. When he opened the door, everyone froze. Standing outside was a young woman with long brown hair, hugging herself, looking nervous. She wore a blue hoodie and black jeans. And she had Emily's exact face. For a moment, nobody understood what they were seeing. It was like looking at my sister's twin. My sister Emily screamed, "Who are you?" The girl stepped back, scared. "Please, do not shout. Daniel told me no one would be home." My father-in-law's knees weakened. He sat on the doorstep. "Oh Lord, what is this?" I looked at Daniel. "Explain," I said. My voice was low because if I shouted, I knew I would break something. Daniel could not speak. His lips moved but no voice came out. The girl outside looked at me and whispered, I am Emily too. But everyone calls me Emma." He said, "Your family must never know me." My sister backed away slowly. "Why do you have my name? Why do you have my voice?" The girl looked confused. "Because," he said, "your sister likes girls with your name. He told me to save my number as Emily. And he made me use your picture when I call. I did not know he was married. He told me he lived alone." My mother almost fainted. My uncle caught her. I stared at Daniel. "You were cheating on me not just with my sister, but with another girl who you pretended was my sister." Daniel's legs shook. I can explain." But before he could speak, Emma stepped forward again. "There is more," she whispered. "Daniel was with me last night. He left my house this morning. He did not sleep alone." The room of elders murmured in shock. My heart felt like it broke clean into two. But I did not collapse. I stood tall. I stepped closer to Daniel and looked him straight in the eyes. "You planned all this," I said. "You tried to use my sister's identity to hide your lies. You fed both sides different stories. And you thought you would never be caught." He swallowed hard. I turned back to the families. "Everyone, go back inside. We are not done. This is only the beginning." Everyone walked back slowly and silently. The shock sat on their faces like wet clothes. Daniel walked in last, trembling. Emily was crying. Emma stayed outside, afraid to enter. I closed the door behind us. Then I lifted my chin and said, "Now, Daniel, you will tell us the whole truth. Every detail." As I spoke, someone's phone buzzed loudly, lighting up the darkened living room. The message on the screen made 3 people gasp at once. The phone buzzed again, and this time my cousin Leo picked it up from the table. His eyes widened so much that everyone noticed. He held the phone out for me without saying a word. It was Daniel's phone again. A new message had come in. From a contact saved as Emily 3. I felt my stomach twist. "Another one," my mother whispered. I opened the message. It read, "Daniel, I reached the hotel. I will wait for you in room 208. Please come before anyone sees you. I miss you." The whole room exploded in shock. My father stood up too fast. "This boy wants to destroy our family name. How many Emilys do you have?" My sister Emily sobbed louder. "Why my name? Why always my name?" Daniel buried his face in his hands. Please, let me explain. I swear it is not what you think. I did not plan it like this." "Then how did it happen?" I demanded. He lifted his head slowly. His eyes looked terrified, like a child caught stealing. I met all of them at different times. I never told them my real situation. And the first girl I dated long ago was named Emily. So you used her name for every other girl," I said, my voice calm but cold. "So you could avoid calling the wrong name during a video call, right?" He looked down. That was the answer. My mother-in-law cried quietly. My father-in-law held his head. My father was too angry to speak. Then Emma, the girl outside, stepped gently into the living room. "There is still something I need to say. Something big." Everyone looked at her. She took a deep breath. "I met Daniel through a friend. He told me he was single. He also told me he was saving money to marry me. He took money from me. Almost all my savings." A shout of anger filled the room. Emily 3 sent another message. Then another. Then she called. The screen kept flashing. The truth rolled out like a flood. Daniel had lied to 3 different girls. He made each of them believe they were the only one. And he used my sister's name to hide everything. He cheated, he manipulated, and he stole. My voice shook, but I stood tall. "Daniel, sit down. You will not stand until we get the full truth." He hesitated. My father pointed at the chair. Sit. Daniel sat. Emma spoke softly, I think Emily 3 should come here. She also deserves to know who Daniel really is. I nodded. Call her. Emma stepped aside and made the call. As she spoke, my sister Emily wiped her tears, trying to breathe. Daniel looked at me with fear. Please, let us talk privately. It does not have to be like this. I stared at him. No, you chose lies in secret. You will face truth in public. Just then, there was a knock at the door. A soft knock. Emma whispered, she is here. Everyone looked toward the entrance. The air was tense again. My heart beat in my chest. I opened the door slowly. Standing there was a woman holding a small baby wrapped in a blue blanket. She looked tired, scared and confused. I am Emily, she said. And this is Daniel's child. The whole room gasped so loud the baby woke up and started crying. The baby's cry filled the whole house. The young woman stepped inside shakily, closing the door behind her. She held the child close to her chest, bouncing gently as she looked around the room full of shocked faces. My father nearly lost his balance. My mother held her head with both hands. Emily nearly fainted. Emma covered her mouth. He told me he does not want kids yet, she whispered. Daniel looked like he was about to pass out. Please, please, it is not what it looks like. The new woman looked at him with anger in her eyes. Not what it looks like. You are the father of this child. Do not lie in front of your own families. Daniel pushed his hands through his hair. I made mistakes. Many mistakes. But I was trying to fix everything before your wife caught you. I asked. He froze. I stepped forward, my voice firm. Tell the truth. Is this your child? Daniel swallowed hard. Everyone waited. He nodded slowly. Yes. My mother-in-law covered her face and cried. My father-in-law stood up and left the room for a moment. The shock was too heavy for him. Emily 3 continued. Daniel said he wanted to marry me after his business grew. He took money from me too. I did not know he was married. I did not know he had other women. I did not know he was lying to everyone. The baby cried again. She rocked him gently. The room was silent except for the child's small sobs. Then I stepped forward and held out my arms. Give me the baby, I said. He deserves comfort. He is innocent. She placed the baby in my arms. He was small, warm and shaking lightly. His eyes blinked up at me. My heart softened, but my mind stayed strong. I looked at Daniel. You did all this behind my back. You used my sister's name to hide your lies. You fooled these girls. You fooled your families. And now there is a child in the middle of your games. Daniel cried. Please, I am sorry. I will fix everything. Just do not leave me. I held the baby close and said softly, no. You already left me long ago. On the night you chose lies instead of respect. My mother came forward and hugged me from behind. My father placed a hand on my shoulder. Emily cried beside me. Emma wiped her tears. Emily 3 stood shaking. For the first time ever, all the pain in the room pointed at one person. Daniel. I handed the baby back to his mother and turned to the families. There will be no more hiding. Today everything ends. Today, I will decide what happens next. Daniel stood up quickly. Please, let us talk. Please. No, I said. The talking is finished. And just when everyone thought the shock was over, my father brought out an envelope from his pocket. He handed it to me. My daughter, he said softly. It is time you open this. I looked at him, confused. What is this? It is something I discovered while you were away, he answered. Something Daniel never wanted you to see. My hands trembled as I opened the envelope. Inside it was a document that made the whole story explode into a new direction. It was the beginning of a truth far bigger than cheating. My hands shook as I pulled the document out of the envelope. Everyone leaned closer, wondering what could possibly be worse than everything we had already discovered. My father stood beside me, his face stern and disappointed. I unfolded the paper slowly. The first line made my breath stop. It was a property transfer form. A form that showed Daniel tried to secretly transfer my late uncle's land into his own name while I was away on my business trip. My heart dropped. That land was my inheritance. My uncle gave it to me before he died. It was the only thing I owned personally. The only thing I had protected for years. I looked at Daniel. What is this? He panicked. I can explain. Your uncle wanted the land to go to the family. You thought you could steal from me too? I asked. After cheating, after lying, after breaking every trust, my father-in-law came closer and grabbed the document. His eyes widened with shock. Daniel, how could you do this? This is criminal. My mother-in-law burst into tears. Have you lost your mind? Emily 3 held her baby tighter, stepping away from him. Emma moved toward the door, afraid of him now. Even my sister Emily could not look at him. Daniel fell to his knees. Please, please, I made mistakes. I was confused. I did not know what to do with my life. I wanted money. I wanted comfort. But I never wanted to hurt you. I stared at him, my chest tight. You did everything to hurt me. You destroyed every good thing we had. He reached for my hand, crying. I will change. I will fix it. I will return the land. I will take care of the child. Just give me another chance. I pulled my hand away. Daniel, the only thing you will fix now is your conscience. My father stepped forward. My daughter, speak your decision. Today, your voice is the one that matters. The whole room went quiet. All the women, all the elders, all the victims waited. Even the baby stopped crying, almost as if he sensed something important. I stood tall. Daniel, I said slowly, from today, you are no longer my husband. You will face the law for trying to steal my land. And you will take responsibility for your child. But you will never again take advantage of any woman by using my sister's name. He bowed his head and cried. Please. I shook my head. No, the door to my life is closed. My father-in-law nodded sadly. We will handle him. You are free from this. My mother hugged me tight. Emma came closer, her eyes full of gratitude. Emily 3 breathed a sigh of relief. Even my sister Emily wiped her tears and held my hand. Daniel tried to stand, but his father held his shoulder. Sit down. You will not walk out of this house with pride. Not today. The family surrounded me, protecting me, supporting me. And for the first time since this nightmare began, I finally felt strong again. As I walked toward the door, the room unusually peaceful behind me, I said one last thing, loud enough for everyone to hear. The lesson in all this is simple. Trust is a gift. Once you break it, you cannot repair it with tears. You repair it with truth. And Daniel chose lies. I stepped outside into the fresh air. The sun was rising, warm and bright. A new day, a new life, a new freedom. And behind me, inside that house, Daniel finally faced the truth he had been running from for years. What would you do? Comment below.